Thank you for tuning into the Marketopia Talk Show. I am your host, Andra Hedden. As you know, here at the talk show, we chat through hot topics. We talk about strategies with business, growth initiatives, and really just many topics that you write in and ask us to talk through with you. So today I am joined by none other than the one and only Terry Hedden. Nice to have you today.
It's a pleasure.
Terry is the CEO of Marketopia and has been in the channel for quite some time and has owned an MSP among many other accomplishments in the space. So we are going to talk through today how you are going to elevate your marketing strategy in 2021. And particularly today, we're going to take this from the vendor angle. So we're going to talk partner recruitment. We talk to many vendors on a daily basis around this exact topic. How do we recruit more partners? How do we win better with the partners that we do have? How do we enable better? And how do we find and win more than our fair share of the partners that are in the channel? So we're going to dig into this today. And I want to start with just that first question. If I'm a vendor and I'm out in the space, how do I win more partners than my fair share against maybe a very similar vendor? Talk us through that.
It's a big question, and it all starts right now. To be honest with you, the world's changed so much in the last
Absolutely.
8 months that it starts off with being open-minded to that fact that the world has changed. Therefore, doing what we've always done is probably not going to work. It hasn't worked for the last 8 months. And we simply can't wait for it to work. We've got to adapt our strategy and kind of rethink how we do what we do. We've got to be able to bring the accelerate and enhance the level of interest in the market, bring in more prospects for our sales team, the right kind of prospects, so that they convert over and become resellers for us. That's one thing, is to get more of the better resellers, to be aggressive, go out there and find them, come up with criteria that you think are critical to success, and then give that criteria to a marketing firm and say, listen, I want to recruit 1,000 more of this kind of partner. I want to be in this segment of the industry. That's first and foremost. And then the second one, honestly, is taking the partners that you do have and giving them what it takes for them to sell more than their fair share, right? For the partner to get more leads than their fair share, to get a higher close ratio than their fair share. By doing the combination of those two things, you can really magnify what you do and not only overcome the headwinds that the current environment is bringing us, but also reach extraordinary new heights by just doing things differently.
And just to level set really quick on the current environment, right? We're talking about COVID. We're talking about being in more of a virtual remote world and a lot of the struggles that have come along with that for MSPs and vendors in our space. So from a vendor standpoint, the thought shift is what you're really saying, that pivot of, okay, the same things we used to do to send out road warrior sales reps to maybe target market in a particular way may not work to fill the pipeline the way we're looking to today, right? So shifting that, I think, is huge. Now with that, you talked a little bit about targeting a specific segment. So one of the things I think is really important in setting up that marketing strategy for success when you go into 2021 is doing that first initial audit of what was winning even with everything that's gone on in this past year. What clients were doubling down with you? What partners did you recruit and actually became really active with you? And then taking that and then figuring out what those low-hanging fruit look like for your 2021 strategy, how to go about getting them, and then what that looks like to recruit them, and then in more unique ways. So let's talk about some of the unique, different pivotal shifts that we've had to make. Like, how would you go about building in maybe new types of deliverables or new types of recruitment strategies in that plan once we've designated who we're targeting?
So once you have your target market, you got to figure out where they are and what message is going to resonate with them. A lot of partners right now are facing many of the same challenges, right? Their revenues aren't achieving their goal. Their 2021 looks a little foggy and gray whether they're going to be successful. Maybe maybe their end user customer base is pivoted a little bit. They're looking for more vendors to bring them better solutions that make them more competitive and bring more opportunities for high margin revenue. So understand that the market is looking for people. Now, it's harder to find them. They're not at conferences. They're not aggregating conveniently. They're on these virtual conferences that are valuable, but just not as effective at at building relationships if you're a sponsor, right? You might get people there, but you're not going to be able to spend 12 hours at the bar during the conference and build those relationships and go deeper. So what you have to do is to really kind of rethink what you're going after and what you're doing to go after them, to include things that you can control, right? In a time when things are out of control and it feels like it's just harder because the system that was generating everything you needed is no longer functioning, look for new things, like, for instance, calling them, calling prospects, offering things that are attractive to those prospects to make them want to talk to you. It's no longer just about the technology that you're bringing to market. It's no longer about the features of the solution that you have. It's about the partnership and about what you bring to the table to help them achieve their goals in 2021 and beyond.
So I absolutely agree with making sure that we're using different tactics as vendors to go after current clients, dig in with prospects differently. Virtual events are obviously popular right now. They are the only way to kind of replicate that feel out and about in the space that we used to have. But one of the points that you bring up that I want us to talk a little bit more about is when we are engaging with partners and prospects, and when we're meeting them where they're at, and when we're showing that we're different than other vendors, and that they should partner with this vendor to win because of this. What are things that vendors can do to show that they're different, to differentiate themselves from any other vendor, and not just stop at the, here are product information pieces for you? Where do they go next? How do they push through that?
I think you said the key word, which is product, right? Every company can create a product. And frankly, there's a lot of amazing technology out there in the market. Every segment of the population, it feels like there's parity. There's more and more people that have a solution that's comparable in terms of features and benefits. So what you're seeing right now are people that are pivoting. Vendors are pivoting and saying, listen, my product is incrementally better, or maybe not quite as good as some of its competitors. And frankly, it's extremely expensive and difficult to fix some of the issues and to achieve true differentiation. So what people are starting to do is to say, listen, we can have a product that's just as good as other people, but where we're going to compete is at the partnership level, which is helping people achieve their goals, right?
Yes.
We're not just about selling our product, but we're about selling our product while helping you achieve your goals. I want to help my resellers double in size, double revenue. I want to help my resellers win more than their fair share, maybe double their close ratio from last year, maybe triple the number of inbound leads that are coming in. I'm going to help them achieve those goals. By doing so, I'm going to do really two things. Number one is I'm going to achieve my goals. If my partners are better at getting leads and closing sales, I'm going to win more. But two is I'm going to deepen that partnership. I'm going to create a more meaningful relationship. It's not just about creating a product that works. It's about creating a partnership that achieves a common objectives, which is growth.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the partnering to win and taking it what we call the last mile, right? So instead of just saying, here partner, here are all of the product catalogs, here's all of the product enablement pieces, here's everything that you need in order to understand the product and maybe talk about the product, but what as a vendor can we give to help them on that next level? Like when they're talking to that dentist office, when they're talking to that law firm, and those are the through partner enablement pieces. And a lot of vendors haven't gone that far yet. You've stopped at the product level and you haven't taken it that next gen, which is to say, okay, PAMs, okay, CAMs, we've got to actually sit with our partners. We've got to do business planning with them. We've got to understand what milestones they want to reach in their business, and then teach and enable them how to get their business there. And that is the through partner enablement that is really winning for some vendors right now and is going to absolutely leaps and bounds differentiate some vendors than others in 2021. So I absolutely agree with that. What were you going to say?
I think vendors doing a great job on the product side.
Totally agree. They have, yeah.
And they're good at creating a product that works. They're good at creating technology that can help the world. And frankly, they're good at creating the training around that product, right? The partners, from a service perspective, are ready to roll. And if they aren't, they can get there quickly because the partners have a pretty mature product-centric approach. Where they're missing is that nothing gets to happen on the service side until something happens on the sales side.
Yep, sales and
so
marketing.
More and more vendors are starting to kind of awaken to that fact and start to create programs and playbooks and different sort of assets and services and training and all the things that the partners need to address what they consider their number one problem, which is never the technology.
Yep.
It's not even on the resource perspective. It's all about teaching them how to get a lead. I simply don't, they have dreams. The partners have dreams. They just don't know how to get there. It's not that they don't want to, they just don't know how.
And many of them haven't actually mapped that out yet, haven't actually sat down and said, what is my dream? What is that growth goal? What does this look like? And then, often it's happening backwards. Now, Terry mentioned that obviously COVID and things that are happening in this space, it drives different actions and reactions out of partners and vendors. Right now, as a vendor, you might be having many partners come your way and say, look, we are having issues. I don't have the referral partners I used to have. I can't go to the Chamber of Commerce event. I can't go to these events that we used to go to get net new leads. What are you going to do for me, vendor? Are there lead gen programs that you have for me? And the vendors that are going to win in 2021 are the ones that have that and are ready and able to begin giving that support already. So I think one of the points you're making underlyingly is start acting on it now. The way to win in 2021 is to plan for 2021 and get it built now so that you actually can deliver when 2021 hits and all your partners are looking at you going, I get your product, I love these things that you've given, but I need actually to get in front of more prospects. Can you help me do that? Or can you show me leads or get leads my way? So I absolutely agree. I think that's a great point. Now, okay, so building pipeline as a sales rep, this is something that we get asked constantly right now. So when COVID hits, it doesn't just hurt the MSP side of the house or when anything affects the way that you currently do business, but building up a pipeline as a front-end sales rep. Give me some tips. If I'm a front-end sales rep right now, I'm used to being a road warrior. I'm missing planes, I'm missing carrying around my suitcase, missing the hotel bar. What do I do to build up my pipeline?
It's an interesting question. I just got off a webinar and I almost laughed because I'm talking to this guy who clearly has kind of lost sight of the reality of his situation. He's working from home. His employer has a pretty comfortable sort of approach to business. They don't have a restrictive dress code or anything like that. And frankly, he's allowed himself to not be at his best, at his top A game, right? I think a lot of us that were road warriors, that we're used to going to conferences and putting on a show, right? Having an amazing booth and professional, and I look like I've got my stuff together. I'm on my A game. During the booth time, I'm on my A game at the hotel bar. We've kind of gotten kind of lax and lazy a little bit. We've kind of, stopped thinking about the fact that there's someone on the other side of the camera that I need to impress, not just my product, but I need to impress. I need to be at my A game. So I think one thing I would say is for all the sales reps out there, understand that you're at the office. You're still trying to achieve your quota. Just because your company is not on your back because sales aren't there, don't for a second think that doesn't matter anymore. You got to be at your A game. You got to look your best, sound your best, and be your best.
Absolutely.
Everything that the prospect sees needs to be impressive and amazing. Every PowerPoint, your facial expressions, the professional appearance that you have, everything needs to be even more amazing than it once was because you no longer have the advantage of charm. You're not at a hotel bar. You can't buy them an old fashioned and break down the barriers and get to know them. You're having to impress them in a 30-minute Zoom meeting, right? It's very hard to do that. So understand that now more than ever, perception is reality. And if you look amazing and you sound amazing, you are perceived as amazing and you're more likely to get an appointment. And frankly, convert that appointment into a sale. That's one thing. Number two is you've still got a prospect. Even if you're used to just leads coming in, you should do two things. One is pivot to your marketing team and say, we got to innovate.
Yes.
We got to come up with a better way.
Yes.
I still need inputs into my sales process to produce the results that you're looking for. And the marketing team has got to pivot. If they don't have the skills internally, they need to go external. If they had a plan, they need to change that plan, right? The world changed, we need to accept it. And then finally, as a sales rep, I need to change who I am and the actions that I have. I need to be aggressive. I need to get out there. I need to get on social media and get some content out there. I need to work my network. I need to overcome whatever challenges before me with effort and ingenuity and innovation so that I achieve the same objective that I had before. Don't hide behind excuses when it comes to achieving your goals. Do what it takes to achieve what you want to achieve. And if the wind becomes at your face and it becomes more difficult, commit to yourself to overcome whatever challenges are before you because failing is not an option. Every one of us has to make a decision every moment of every day to overcome whatever objections are in our way so that we achieve our goals.
Absolutely. I think, from a sales rep perspective, the two things that I want to double down on for you watching is the innovation piece, 100%, that being able to pivot to be more innovative than you were yesterday is what is going to help you win in 2021. So innovation, I think, will stem from collaboration. And that collaboration is going to come from getting your sales team and your marketing team more intertwined than ever before. So Terry was mentioning the changing of messaging. So your sales team knows better than anyone else, including your marketing team, what those messages should be, what the issues are that these partners are having, and what's going to help with recruitment. So if you can gain and pull those messages out of your sales team and incorporate that into your messaging, that's what's going to help you win. That's what's going to drive leads. If you've got anchor assets out there in your strategy that aren't resonating, you're not going to get the leads pulled in the way that you're wanting to. So to Terry's point, gather the information from your sales reps so that you can be putting together the type of assets, the type of tools that your partners need that they will actually engage with. They'll give you that information. They'll start to build up a pipeline, and they'll start to trust that you're the answer they need to succeed. Now, that is one side, right? Making sure your messaging is on and that your strategy is right and that the things you're putting out there are correct, that will solve for these partners' issues. The other side that I want to double down on is the personal brand of the sales rep. So we just did a blog on this, and one of the things that we said, which I think is quite fitting, is that the trade show floor is still happening. It's just happening somewhere else. So Road Warriors still have a trade show floor, but it's happening in social media feeds. It's happening in other places. It's happening in community forums. It's happening other places, and you need to be a part of it if you're not already. So if your sales rep isn't doing some of the things that Terry's mentioning, like getting their personal brand in check, going out and making sure that they're taking what that global marketing team is creating and putting it out on the social feeds and resharing things, and doing LinkedIn lives and going into communities on Reddit and making sure that they're commenting and adding value, you're not going to win. So in order to win, you've got to show up, which is what you're saying. Show up with your personal brand, show up with your company brand, show up with a more strategic, innovative look and feel to your prospects and your current clients. Now, talk to me a little bit too about taking it to that next level from a legion perspective with current partners. So we've already got, so you've got your partner recruitment, right? You've got the ones that you're looking to recruit, which you've mentioned you're going to win by telling them that you're going to help them sell more. So that's the marketing message. Partner with us, and we're going to help you grow your business. Solution aside, all of that aside, that solution will help them get there. So that's the marketing message at the most holistic view. Now, current clients, there's a huge opportunity to be strategic in 2021 with current clients. How do you take that business to the next level?
And this is reminding me of a conversation I just had with a vendor who has a challenge that I think a lot of vendors have, which is that the minority of their partners generate the majority of their revenue. Mm-hmm. In fact, it's 90-10 or 80-20. The top 10% of their partners generating 90% of their revenue. So the first thing I would say is don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. Mm-hmm. Meet people where they are, but help them level up. So if you have a segment of your partners that are just incredible at closing deals, feed them more leads, mm-hmm. right? Help them, maybe even consider giving them a disproportionate share of the leads because they're able to convert. Mm-hmm. The people who maybe have the resources but haven't quite got the results, teach them, right? Hey, you have the ability to kind of help them by giving them content, by giving them training, by helping the resources that they have perform better, by elevating what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then on the low end of the scale, if you have partners that are just struggling, right? They're just not transacting, they're not growing their business, they don't have the resources, maybe do it for them. Maybe invest in things that can help them level up and achieve what they need to achieve. So don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. Organize your partners by the strengths and weaknesses that they have, what you can do to make a difference. Mm-hmm. Create plans that they can execute and have confidence in that include all aspects of their business: service, sales, marketing, and finance, right? What does it take to level up and to grow your business? Sort of create that path to help move your partners along, and then just be there for them. Give them what they need, give them what they lack, help them level up, And you'd be amazed. The rising boat lifts all ships. Rising waters lift all ships, right? So if you can just make all of your partners 10% better at closing, you can have a drastic impact on your results. If you can have all of your partners just get 10% more leads than what they did before, you can have a drastic impact on results. And you're going to create a more loyal relationship with your partners.
Definitely. And that next level of growth conversation is something that not many partners are having with their vendors successfully. So partners are coming to many of you and saying, how do I get there? If you haven't yet enabled your CAMs and your PAMs with that knowledge on how to actually help that partner succeed, more than just deal reg, more than just helping them with maybe a sale or being there for some things along those lines, having actual, more of a consultant conversation about growth initiatives, about how to close a lead, about how and where to find the resources. One of the things that we're seeing that many of the account managers inside of your company, many times the account managers and the CAMs and PAMs aren't yet set up properly to know exactly where to get all the resources that can help that partner succeed with where they are at. So where to get that proper training, where to get that proper lead gen asset, how to actually help them with that growth initiative, what's needed, making sure that's organized enough for your front end account management team so that when that MSP calls, when that partner calls, they are ready to double down and help them, and that they can start making each of them 10% better. So, and then the last thing I would say is, from a standpoint of making sure that sales teams and account management teams are gold on the right things to make sure that partner recruitment and the right types of partners are the goal, right? So I think that a lot of times the recruitment strategies get lost and the account management strategies get lost because the way that the goals internally work aren't necessarily structured properly. Any thoughts on that?
I think you're referring to kind of quality versus quantity, the right partners versus partners in general. Motivate people to do what you want them to do, right? Peter Drucker once said, once measured improves. Be careful what you KPI people on because they're going to achieve it. So focus on, the metrics that matter, right? Transacting partners, partners that are on a level of maturity that you can handle. If you don't have the empowerment and training programs, if you're not good at helping the little guy get big, then you shouldn't be focused on recruiting little guys, right? Focus on the big ones. If that's all you're built to handle. Now, of course, you're not going to maybe achieve your ultimate growth objectives because that's a smaller population, right? There are nowhere near as many partners that have everything baked and put together than the overall population. So, but meet people where you are, recruit the kinds of partners that transact. Don't get too picky because everyone's doing the same thing. And the reality is you got to be good if you want to attract the more mature partners. But get people to focus on what actually matters, the KPIs that matter, the ones that are going to drive results, and then ultimately hold them accountable for results versus the activities that lead into those results.
Absolutely. Any thoughts too on once these programs are baked for the current partners, right? Back to differentiating your programs and helping that marketing strategy in 2021. We're sitting here saying that through partner strategy is a big one. So what should vendors do to better enable the partner when it comes also to like MDF spend and things that they're willing to help the partner with? Any thoughts there?
MDF, to me that is this bastion of potential, and so many vendors struggle at getting positive ROI from the money that's spent. And a lot of vendors struggle at getting the money spent at all. And they're sort of, at the end of the year, just begging their partners to pull the money down and employ it and get it used. What I think on MDF right now is that the smart people are going after a rethinking it, right? How can I improve ROI? How can I improve the quality of what we use it for? How can I improve the likeliness other people give it? And what's interesting to me is those seem to be one and the same. If you have a partner, maybe a service provider that can help generate leads with MDF funds, why not motivate them to make sure that the money is used? Why not say, listen, XYZ Corporation, here's $4 million. This is the distribution of partners. Can you help me get these guys spend it? And the reason is because when the vendor calls the partner, they represent work. Hey, listen, do this, fill out this form, find this vendor, whatever. But if you start with the vendors that you trust, the ones that know the channel, that have done things like this before, ones that you can kind of goal on not wasting the money and say, listen, here are the partners, go get them. they're going to call those partners with solutions. They're going to make it easy for those partners to use that money, and frankly, the partners are going to be more apt to believe them because they know that that third-party agency is motivated by partner success and by generating results at the end of the day. So I for the life of me, every time I get into these conversations, I'm thinking, why are they independent? Why are they separate from each other? Why not merge them together and leverage great agencies that are great at marketing themselves, and give them the partner list and say, can you help me get my partners to move? Make it easy, make it efficient, and make it effective. Deliver results at the end of the day. And the more money you can pool, the more results you can achieve, because you're not reinventing the wheel 75 different times for 75 different partners. You can do something amazing and then just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste.
And we've obviously found success for vendors in that way. Vendors that have turned to us and said, hey, Marketopia, can you do that for this laundry list of partners? And that's why obviously we're sharing that with you too. There are ways to go about it that are not as difficult as maybe the way that you're trying to do it today. So I would just urge you to think about that. Are there better, smarter ways to make sure that you're leveraging or having your partners leverage the funds that you're giving them so that they can grow? I mean, ultimately, that's what we're saying. Help your partners grow and be thinking about things more from their perspective, and what and how you can help them further down the pipe so that you can win more business as well. So Terry, thank you so much for joining us today. As always, it is a pleasure. And thank you everyone for tuning in. We will talk to you soon.